Good morning this morning. It's fine Monday morning with a very slight breeze. Feels great. Supposed to be 105 today, so that may not last. Get a little sip of coffee here. Good morning, Miss Joyce. How are ya? Janet, good morning. I got itchy eyes this morning. I apologize. Good morning, Shelly. Hey, Elizabeth Gibson. How are you? Maria. Leanne, how are you, dear? Good morning. Hi, Tweety Tom. How are ya? Good morning, Miss Kay. Trish Elliott, oh my gosh, girl, I love Elliott, your gnome. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. Hey, Lavon, how's my beautiful mosaic this morning? Hi, Marie. Hey, Meryl. Hey, Tracy. Almost called you the wrong name. Hi, Jane. Well, I hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Shannon. Good morning. Hey, Retta. I thought I might see your beautiful face this morning. Hi, Tony. Good morning, Erica and Annette. How are ya? I hope I turned off everything on my phone. I think I did. We'll pray that I did. Yes, happy friend-anniversary, Lavon. It's been a great year of friendship, hasn't it? Look at that. See the breeze doing to this wild hair? You know what? I'm just glad I got hair. Good morning, Katie, Lisa, Judy, Carol. How are you and the doctor doing? Don't you jump on this table, Peanut. Don't you do it. The cat. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much. I expect it to be a very nice day. So, Loretta and I have a busy week coming up. It's inventory, orders coming in, all that kind of stuff. Organizing the TDR storage unit so we know what we have to purchase and what we already have. Well, good morning, Stacy. Yes, ma'am. Everything is doing great. You know, just like everybody else, ready for the world to come a little bit more back to normal, but we're good. Hi, Joanne. Nadine, good to see you. Hey, Asia. How are you? Well, I'm glad you're going to have a sip with me. I appreciate that. I know I enjoy watching you. Okay. Well, like I said, I hope everyone's had an amazing day. You know it's going to be good when week since last Monday. When the birds are out, I've got hummingbirds, so if you hear this weird loud humming sound, that's what you'll be hearing this morning. And it's nice. It's very nice this morning. Hi, Heidi. How are you this morning? Hey, little cupcake. Carol, wait. Thank you. Needs lots of prayers. Lost my great niece on the day my brother was shot. His daughter was the mother, and my aunt died, but 6. And I care. Doing okay. Heard your podcast. You rock, girl. Oh, thank you, Carol. That's really sweet. My gosh, Carol, I'm so sorry. That is a lot of loss to deal with. Ready? You can't hit the table.
I know.
I thought it was going to be Peanut, but Loretta just showed up with me some breakfast. Isn't that sweet? Wow. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're welcome, Lavon. We've been working on that one. Hey, Catherine from New Orleans. You know I grew up right outside of New Orleans in Kenner. Love that city. For visiting. I don't want to live in the city anymore, but. Alright. Y'all, you're going to see me kind of leaning in because I don't know what's happened the last couple of weeks. My comments don't want to scroll correctly. Good morning, Lisa. No, Kim, I missed it. Let me check if I can go back far enough. I'm so sorry. Good morning, Kim. Kim, can you repost? It's not behaving for me. Good morning, Georgie. Good morning, Scotty. So glad to have you with us this morning. Yo, we're going to talk about an interesting subject today. First of all, I didn't have anything really planned. I didn't go to bed till like 4:30 this morning. We went to bed at 2, but I realized right as I laid my head down, oh my God, I have those peaches ready, peeled. So I had to get up and make a couple of batches of peach cobblers so I didn't lose the peaches. Wow, San Francisco. I love me some San Francisco. Hey, Carolina. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Margie. So I didn't really have a plan. I pray as usual, like, please, give me the words, let me use your words, use me as your vessel, whatever. Yes, I know, Vicky. Isn't that cool? I love it.
Oh, did you see the first timer you have?
Marty,
it's E-I-S-E-R-T.
Esert.
First timer.
Welcome, Marty. Welcome. So you're gonna might have to help me keep up with the comments. But the topic of conversation, as I was brushing my hair, the word accountability came to me. I thought, all right, well, this word just came out of nowhere, so I know where it came from. So we're going to discuss accountability. And if you have anything else you would like to discuss, please feel free. Those of you that are new, thank you so much for blessing me with your presence. Know that this is Coffee with Drea. It's not a creative hour. It is an interchange of encouragement between us all. It isn't just because you're having coffee with me doesn't mean it's all about me. It's about all of us. I know, Bobby. It's a toughie too, though. Well, hello, Melissa from Laredo. My gosh, it's been years since I've been down to Laredo. Years. It used to be one of our regular every other month or so places to go. I don't know what happened. Now the air conditioner's turned off, I can talk a little lower. Yeah, well, I can't get out and come back in, Scotty. Not on this live. But Loretta's here with her phone, and so she'll help out with that. I appreciate you. Anyway, accountability is... Good morning from Richmond, Virginia. Virginia is a place that Loretta and I like to go driving through. Both Virginias, West as well as Virginia.
Joyce Ballou.
Asking
for prayers for my daughter's fiance was diagnosed with COVID.
Oh, Joyce, I'm so sorry. I'm really starting to hate that word. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. Please know if I miss your comment, it's just because I didn't see it. It's not because I don't care, because I do. Hi, Randy Coleman from Wilcox, Arizona.
Dawn's on.
Hey, Donnie. Good morning.
Donnie Marie? Well, I was going to say Donnie Marie, but that's...
Really? It's hot in North Carolina? Well, that's sad. Loretta and I, for many, many years, except for last year, and we had wanted to go back this year, but, well, COVID, spend a couple of weeks traveling together. Loretta, for those of you that don't know, is my best friend of 40 plus years. And we stay at Emerald Isle, North Carolina, along the Crystal Beaches. Add a young man from around here for your prayer list. He was injured really bad in a lawnmower accident. He's in danger of losing his left leg. He's only 10. Aw. Yes, absolutely. Retta, do you have something to write down with?
I was just thinking about that. Let me get something.
Okay, thank you. I didn't bring my notepad out. Yes, it is a nice place. I love it. Her and I and a group of ladies, we would lease a beach house, and that's where we would stay. It's on my Good Morning, Carolyn. It's on my list to have a retreat there in the future. This year would have been great, but whatever. Rusty Jones. Wow. That's so sad. Okay. So accountability is one of those words that a lot of us don't really like. Oh, Tanya, that's great news. The young man's name is Rusty Jones. Let me write this down really quick. That shook everybody. Sorry. Rusty Jones. 10 years old. And I should write Carol down too. And her family. Okay.
Here,
So,
I'll write it down so you don't.
If you have prayer, it's okay. If you have prayer
Did you
requests,
have Joyce?
Huh?
Joyce,
Which one was Joyce?
the future son-in-law.
Oh yeah.
COVID.
Got it now. Okay. Tanya, I'm very, very happy for you. Really. Oh, yay! Yay, yay, yay. Thank you. Okay. So, accountability. It's, like I said, it's one of those words a lot of us don't really want to talk about or think about. Accountability is important in every area of life. Why is that important? And when I say accountability, I don't mean going to confession if you're Catholic or going to talk to the leaders in your church. Why is this thing shaking? You're not moving. Maybe the wind, I don't know. I'm talking about holding ourselves accountable. You know, when we're raising our children, we have no problem. Hi, Sharon. We have no problem saying if you do that one more time, you're grounded, right? And hold them accountable for whatever it is they did. I hope you all do or have, and don't just say it. So they do it one more time, and so then they're grounded and they have to go to their room or whatever it is. That is us as a parent holding our child accountable for whatever it was that was done. Do we do the same for ourselves? This can be tough because it's not easy to say, yes, I am accountable. I'm something simple. The reason that my vehicle is broke down on the side of the road is because I did not put gasoline in it, right? So I'm running out of gas. Simple, but that's how it is. You have to, instead of cussing the world, you know, and blaming everybody, you have to hold yourself accountable for having not gone to the gas station. All right. And in holding yourself accountable, you have to be Yes, Bobby, and that's the thing. You have to, first of all, you have to be honest with yourself. You don't have to go out there and tell anybody else your business. That's up to you.
Trina says, pray that God places one hand on my shoulder and one across my mouth most of the time lately.
So, y'all, I don't have a written script. Those of you that are new, it just flows. And then you guys are more than welcome to, hey, Estella Robles, how are you this morning? And Pat Nicholson, you are more than welcome to comment, and we'll discuss whatever. Right, Francis? And you got some beautiful wreaths. Get them listed. And that is absolutely true. But I'm seeing a lot of finger pointing, because it seems like if we can't hold ourselves accountable for our part in whatever it is, we have no problem pointing the finger and blaming everybody else, right? And there lies the problem. Because if there's a situation... Oh, Pat. Let me get that down, babe, so I can get you on our prayer lists. I'm so sorry. I pray that you begin to heal completely. Oh, that just breaks my heart. Okay. So, look, and it's in every area of life. Let's see. Okay, I don't have enough money to pay the electric bill. Am I accountable for that? Well, I don't know. Did you spend some of that electric bill money on things that shouldn't have been spent on? Well, then you have to hold yourself accountable. And you have to do the work. And you have to call the electric company and do the begging or whatever it is you got to do, or go borrow the money or sell something or whatever it is. It can be something as simple as that, where we're looking for somebody to blame. That's our natural human... it's natural for us as humans to do that, to need to blame, lay the blame somewhere, either on ourselves or on somebody else when something happens. When my good morning, Aunt Wanda. When my children passed away, I needed somebody to blame. So of course, my blame went on the truck driver that didn't hit and killed they had the accident with. Then we find out it's a malfunction in my vehicle that caused him to veer, right? So then I blame the maker of that automobile. We need somebody to put the blame on. And so sometimes innocent people take the blame for us. We got to stop doing that. I see a lot of this. Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Carol Ann. I didn't see you come in. Anyway, we have to stop that and start. You know, we have that. Y'all already know we do the mirror talk. You look at that man or woman in the mirror every morning, and I honestly, truly do this every morning, even if all I have is a moment to do it. And that is, you look in the mirror and you praise yourself for something about you. That you got up on time this morning is a great thing, but I'll praise you for something about you as a human being, right? It could be the same few things that, you know, that you rotate. So you have that talk with yourself. Well, part of doing that is also being accountable for our part in a problem.
Margie Bergman.
Oh,
I feel if we are accountable to God daily, we cover most of our issues. You can't lie to God. It does no good.
Ain't that the truth?
Sue Tinsley, add her to the prayer list.
Yeah, I'm just now saw that one, weirdly enough. Pacemaker? I've got it down. All right. So, good morning, my blessing. How are you, Miss Jean? You know, there are times where we have to, good morning, Miss Lori, where we need to talk to someone. Stella, we're on the same wavelength. Kind of scary, isn't it? You're never late, Lori. You know the party don't start till you show up. With
Better late than never.
Good morning, Missy. Let me have some coffee. Okay. So, when you hold yourself accountable, it is not about cutting yourself down or, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Why did I spend that money that was supposed to go to the electric bill? It's not about beating yourself up, okay? Because whatever happened that you're holding yourself accountable for has already happened. So then you have to be able to focus on correction, on how can I do this better next time? We'll use the electric bill because it's easy. I need to make sure set aside. So how can I? Michelle Joseph needs prayers for her grandson. How can I continue forward? I'm sorry, let me do this. This is important to me. How can I make it better? Well, I can make it better by looking at what I can do to avoid the situation happening again, right? Okay. Here's what I'm seeing. Because I guess we're all going to be in this weird, emotional, tense state for a while. Can you write down on Micah Brummel for me? That would be great. But you can't shake the table. Yes, and I think it is something that I'm so sorry, Micah. I'll hold it steady.
Here, I'll do this.
I don't know. I don't know about this table anymore. I agree, Bobby. It's so important. Good morning, Tisha Pruitt. How are you? Hey, Carl. How are you? It's really not that hard because we already know we're at fault. We already know whatever the situation is that we look at this raid still sitting here. We already know what we did or didn't do in order for a situation to happen. Okay, so that's the obvious accountability. Stop saying, I didn't do it. Okay, I did it, but it's because so-and-so and such, right? You're still blaming. You are still blaming. And blaming hurts you and your character because you fail to accept your part in a situation. It's kind of like being an accessory to something, right? And you're harming someone else because you're pointing the finger. You don't know their story. You don't know what if you've taken it out of context, or something, or what if it isn't what you thought and you took an action without making sure. Well, for example, now this is going to be tough on some of us. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Missy. Good morning, Susan. How are you? Good to see you. Missy, I hope your hubby's doing well as also. And it's tough to not hold ourselves true to ourselves too sometimes. Yes, everything's fine. Yes, Lori. It was just a word that came to me when I was brushing my hair, and I thought, okay, God's trying to tell me something. See, he could be talking to me through this, and I'm just going. So I see a lot of times in lives, and people that do, Facebook Lives. Those of you that do not, pretend you know what I'm talking about. I see people making comments to other people, you don't have to be so rude, and why this and why that, okay? Well, you don't know if they're trying to be rude. Maybe they're having an off moment like a lot of us do. Oh, Carrie, I'm so sorry. But then we have a follow-up to our rudeness, right? Stop it. Just stop it. You can be successful. You can be an amazing human being without pointing fingers at people, without calling people out and hurting them. What if they are going through a situation you don't know about, and you being rude to them, and you need to be accountable to yourself for this if you're guilty of it. Just saying. What if your one rude comment put them over the edge that day? What if your one rude comment broke their heart, broke their spirit, had them think things about themselves that weren't necessarily true? What if and if only are two of some of the most interesting statements ever. But what if that happened? I know it's happened to me, where somebody made one simple comment that day. I happen to be already on edge for whatever reason, and their one comment, "Bye, Jesse," pushed me beyond, and I just couldn't deal that day. Didn't throw a pity party, just so you know. But so I know if it's happened to me, and I'm pretty tough, and it takes a lot to hurt my feelings, even more to make me mad. But once I'm there, then I start, what did I do? What could I do? Have done better? But I'm looking to find if it is something that I did that I need to hold myself accountable for, and then make it better. Now, in that process of questioning and going over the situation, I may discover that I wasn't responsible, right? And that I was falsely accused is a strong word for the situation like this, but someone was wrong in what they said. First of all, it makes you feel better, because you're like, whew, thought I did something wrong. But it also makes you look at that person differently, doesn't it? You wonder, and you can try to work things, talk to them and say, hey, you took it this way, but this is how I meant it, and then have that conversation. Or not. That's a choice you get to have. That's part of using your power for you.
Bobby says, what if you're taking away their need to be a part of the community, and you take that away from them?
That's true.
Susan says, we have lost common courtesy. We have forgotten about thinking about others.
Yes, we have. We have. I think a lot of you don't know this about me. I own daycares, five different ones, 3 simultaneously, over 30 years, until 2015. And sometimes when I had to make money, I had to work out away from that, and I paid people to run the daycares, but I was always very hands-on. And when you work in a group like that, and you work with families, and you hear all the things, you realize that parents are spending so much time. Okay, well, we'll go to McDonald's for dinner. Okay, I'll give you your game. Okay, you want to take my phone and play the game? Will that keep you quiet? Instead of holding the child accountable for inappropriate behavior, for saying things they shouldn't say, for throwing fits. I don't have to go over all the details. Parenting, the kids are the same. The parents have changed. The parenting has changed. Well, I'm sorry. I'm proud to have been a part of the whip your butt generation, right? Or the I'm going to hold you accountable and you're going to go to your room generation of parenting. I've seen it all, y'all. And if we can't hold children accountable, first of all, we're not raising them to be accountable for their behavior. What kind of humans are they going to be when they're adults? They never accept blame. I see it still. And parents, that is not my Johnny. No, that's that teacher. Okay, well, we're going to change it to a new class. Okay. Oh, no, that's not my Johnny, that's that teacher. And it just goes. And you say these things in front of your children. You are not teaching accountability, you're teaching the blame game. While, yes, very often situations we find ourselves in are not our fault, and we don't need to blame ourselves for a problem, but we don't need to be blaming everybody else either. Just suck it up, buttercup, and go look in the mirror and have a real talk with yourself. Did I really, was I not thinking, I'll use the electric bill thing. Was I not thinking about the fact that the electric bill was due on the 15th, and then on the 12th I went and spent too much money at Hobby Lobby, and now I look at my checkbook and there's not enough for the electric company? Were you responsible for that? Yes. Have you held yourself accountable for that, or were you griping that you didn't get enough hours at work and so that's why you didn't have the money? No, it's because you went to Hobby Lobby or Ranch House and spent that money that was earmarked for the electric, right? It's not because you didn't get enough hours at work. You knew what your check was going to be, but you chose to go to Hobby Lobby, correct? Correct.
Estella says, oh my goodness, I feel like you have been listening to my conversations.
Oh no.
Carrie says, defending or rewarding a child that is in the wrong increases your chances of needing a lawyer later in their life.
Ain't that the truth? Well, thank you for this coffee, Loretta.
But if you look at it, parents are not teaching their kids to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, please, thank you, because
it's not politically correct.
Well, in my dictionary it is.
Yes, remember when I had the daycares, that was one of the things that really upset me, was if you, through one of the government programs, you were not allowed to teach children how to say yes ma'am and no ma'am. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
Daddy used to tell us if he'd ask us a question and we go yes, he'd go, will it break your jaw to say yes, sir? But I do that for the grandbabies.
When my grandson, who's 16, is in trouble, we take his phone and PS4 away on top of days in rooms with nothing to do. That's what I did. I took away things. Now, the one thing that I did when I grounded them to their room is you have to stay in your room and you can read a book. Yes. I allowed them to do educational things. No TV, no phone. Well, they didn't have cell phones, but no phone calls. No video games. All of those things were it's not being grounded from anything, because I was not a spanker. It was just not in my nature, and because of my childhood. But so yeah, I believed in grounding, and that then taught my children to hold themselves accountable for things they do or do not do. Somewhere.
You got a new one, Paula Schreiber. She's
welcome,
first
Paula.
time.
Welcome. This is where we have an interchange of encouragement, and today we're discussing accountability. Oh, Shiner. Maybe. That is true, Trina.
Well, on one part, I will throw my daughter under the bus.
Uh-oh.
With Brittany, when she brings Kason, she always has his iPad with him. And I tell him, no iPad at Mimi's. You can't go potty in the potty like a big boy. You don't need an iPad. And he doesn't need an iPad all day long.
Right. But you hold him accountable,
Yep.
which is what he's learning, to be responsible for his own behavior. And this in no way is meant to be a negative talk today. This is meant to remind us that we as adults of all ages need to lead by example in our community, of course in our homes, with our children, with our grandchildren, etc. But in our community as well. Our community, our state, it just goes on and on. Because we have people that are more than happy to point fingers at other people and blame other people and, kind of go do the attitude thing, right? Well, how has that served your community? What have you just told them about you as a human? What have you told them about your character? People can only see you behave that way for so long before they turn from you, and then you have to be responsible enough. I have to be responsible enough to look in that mirror and say, okay, this isn't going the way it should. What is my part in this situation? What have I done or not done? Again, this is not to be negative towards yourself. This is to take care of a situation honestly. Take responsibility for whatever you've said or done. If you can work it out with that individual, great. But sometimes it's taking responsibility for simple things. The things that only God's going to know you did or didn't take responsibility for, and you. And that trains you to be better at accepting responsibility for what you are needing to accept responsibility for. Also, not taking the hit if it's not your fault. So if you do those honest talks with yourself, you'll know. And we don't have to get on, I don't have to get out on here and call out a bunch of names. That's on you, that you hold yourself accountable and not point the finger at others, and find a way that you can do better next time, right? It's a way to correct yourself and fix it. Don't keep on, oh, the economy sucks, it's the president's fault. Is it? Maybe. I'm not making a political statement. I'm just telling you what I see. Well, what part in fixing the economy have you played? You're an American. Okay, no political commentary, really. It was just an example. Oh, that company is supporting the wrong athlete. I don't like that athlete. And so then you go out and you make all these negative commentaries. Have you tried their product? Do you know? Or are you just upset with them? Are you just, y'all, it's the tiniest little things we can train ourselves on.
Levon says, I've seen designers make mountains out of molehills and try to ruin another business. Shame on them.
That's tough. And I've seen and heard things, and people have asked how, what am I going to do? How am I going to respond to this? Well, first of all, I, like Lori, say the same thing. Only thing I say is not my bull, not my pasture, not my BS, right? I can't take on all the problems of the world. I can help in my tiny little community, my tight-knit group of friends, my family. But the thing we can do for each other, stop being negative. I know we've hit this hard a lot the last couple of months. Yo, it's still happening. So many of us have stopped using Facebook except for business or to go see a live of a friend or whatever, because of the negativity that's out there.
Well, see, I got shamed for something I did with my two youngest kids.
You did?
When they were like probably 7 and 9. They wouldn't do nothing around the house that they were supposed to. Then they decided they were going to run away. So I went in there and I packed their bags. And there's a little place in the town we lived in, which was Round Rock, called the Texas Children's Baptist Home, which is where, the kids go for foster and stuff like that. So I took the kids up there and I dropped them both off on the side of the road and drove away.
You can't do that nowadays. You can't. Go ahead.
And I drove around until I could still see them, and then I sat there and parked. And with them sitting there crying, after about 10 minutes, I went back and picked them up and asked them if they were ready to come home, and they were more than ready.
Yeah. That they didn't do whatever that was again.
Nope.
Yes, that is Loretta. Nope. I'm trying to read. No, I don't do that, Francis, because everybody here has a business in our family of one form or another, in particular, the cattle ranching. So they kind of have to be accessible very often. But there is no cell phones at the dinner table. Sorry. Doesn't that drive y'all nuts? When we used to could go to restaurants freely, and when you look over and you see a family or you see a couple and they're both on their cell phones. What? Can't you enjoy an hour-long dinner without electronic interruption? I don't know how we did it. Thank God we didn't have cell phones and Facebook and all this other social media when I was growing up. Absolutely, Carrie. I don't want to tear down in private. I don't want to tear anybody down if it can be avoided, because it's their job to be held accountable. And, if you look at it, if somebody is in the public eye, like a politician or, gosh, like this, if you're in the public eye or if you have some kind of platform, you're a movie star, you're in politics, whatever, we can hold you accountable. Y'all can hold me accountable for something I've said or done or not done, right? Or not said. Because I've made myself public, okay? But I'm going to use the mayor. So if the mayor does things incorrect, he has to be held accountable because he's taken an oath to be a servant of the people, correct? So we can hold them accountable. It's our job to hold them accountable. It's not our job to pat them on the back and say, oh, that's okay, you'll do better next time. No, I'm sorry, you're in a position of accountability. And you have a job that requires you to do certain things, and if you don't do them, you should be held accountable, correct? If you go out and shoot somebody, let's just say they're wounded. I hate to think the other way. For whatever reason, you have to be held accountable for causing harm to another human being, correct? So, in the same way, We need to start holding ourselves accountable in our social media world. Look, it's really simple. There's so much drama. I hate drama in my life. Well, then don't put your drama on Facebook. I'm just saying. You will not see me put things on there of a negative personal nature that I'm trying to deal with. You're not going to see me throw in family members under the bus on Facebook. Tomorrow, when your relationship with that person is better, the one you outed on Facebook, and tomorrow y'all are doing all right, all these people that you outed them to already have a negative attitude against that person. So now the next day you're going to say something positive about them. You know, you're going to lose credibility with people. Stop it. Just don't put your drama out there. Solve your problems. If it's in your family, solve them within your family. If it's in your community, solve it within your community. Quit dragging everybody else into it. None of us have the fortitude nor the desire to be victims to your failure to hold yourself accountable. Can't do it. Am I allowed to hold you accountable? Well, sure. I'm allowed to call you and say, hey, Bobby, you said your dress looks funny, which is weird because I don't wear dresses, so this could never happen. Your dress looks funny, Drea. I just don't like it on you. Makes your butt look big. Bobby, I heard that you were calling me out saying that my butt looks big in that dress. That's not my thing. Did you say that? Why, yes, I did, Drea. I'm so sorry. I didn't really mean it that way. You just don't wear dresses, and so to see you in one was really weird. I should have saved that for you. I should have just told you. I apologize. Done. Over. Finale. Right? Just know that she now knows if I wear a dress that makes me look silly or makes my butt look big, she's going to contact me and say, Drea, really, beautiful dress, not for you. Right? She's helped me. Might sting just a little because I really like that dress. But you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? That's a very simplistic example. But sometimes it is so simple. Oops.
I think I've only seen you one time in a dress. And that was when you got married.
I used to wear dresses to church. I don't anymore because our little country church, we don't have to. We show up in shorts and a t-shirt and we're all fine. Bobby, I don't care for squirrels, so I'm with you on that one. I remembered that on your live last night. What I don't like is someone that says free shipping and then comes back and tells me a story to grab my heartstrings, to pay a lot for shipping. Then go live and say the same thing. Oh, I've seen this happen. I let a couple of crafters know, but haven't shamed her name. I am a better person than that, even though I wanted all to know. And that certainly is something that you need to address because that's not right. That's not how business is done.
Lori says, my butt looks big and everything.
I like your butt, Lori. So, when I say held account, okay. I'm going to use an old example. Loretta brought me this coffee from McDonald's. And you see where it says, caution, hot. Caution, hot. Okay. Number of years ago, an elderly lady went through the line, got the coffee in the drive-thru, spilled it on herself, and had some burns. So she sued McDonald's for the coffee being too hot. I don't know the whole reason. Maybe she had some anxiety issues from it. I don't know. So it's not about judging this lady. It's just about being accountable. Did we know this coffee is hot? Yes, we did. We know it's hot. Even without the little warning we have on the cups now. So sometimes it can be that you know, you ordered that salad with the nuts in it and you're allergic to nuts. Well, if you have a reaction, you probably should hold yourself accountable for that. Instead of saying, that damn waitress, blah, blah, blah. You know how we do. We all do it. It's a good way to practice in the simple things, because then when the important things come along, it's second nature to you. It is. You know, all the things going on out there right now, who's holding themselves accountable for what the behavior in public? Who are we going to be allowed to hold accountable for their behavior in public? I'm not talking about politicians. We can call, they are promised to serve. They should be held accountable by we the people, right? But the individuals out there causing the damage, the people who are out there not keeping social distancing and the mask order that we have in a number of states, are the, you know, well, yeah, you did show up at that gathering without the mask, and you are now positive. So now all those people you were around, you could have given a terrible virus to. Did you hold yourself accountable for that? No, probably not. So, you know, it goes in everything. And I'm not saying young people are the only ones guilty. I think we have some generations that just feel entitled to everything, and it doesn't matter who they step on or who they hurt with their mouth or their attitude. And that's sad to me, because that worries me about my grandchildren. Well, my children too, you know, they're in their 30s and early 40s. So it's worrisome that all these bad things are going on out there, and instead of trying to fix it, we're all blaming each other. No, stop it. Fix it. Let's come to the table and fix it. Just like if Loretta and I have an issue, we're not going to let it fester. I'm not going to go, that dang Loretta, if she wouldn't be so stinking peachy. If you know us, you'd get that joke. You know, I'm going to talk to her. The very thing is this, and I noticed a number of people have mentioned lately that they've had friendships end that were very, very long, like 20, 30-year friendships. Can't imagine. There's so much invested in that relationship. I can't imagine that it couldn't be fixed. But it's possible. Marriages end after 30 years. Lord knows. Look at me. But you have to come to the table and have the discussion. Be brave. Now, the very one thing you have to think about is, in this case, do I care enough? Is my relationship then and now as important enough to me to sit down and have that conversation with Loretta or whomever I have an issue with? Or has that relationship come to a point where the hurt was so deep and the words so harsh that it could not be salvaged? Then I don't know if I would necessarily have to have that conversation. I'm not a confrontational person, so I may just walk away and be done. But that's a decision you have to make, so you have to think about it. And that's why we as individuals really need to think about not only what we say, but more importantly, how we say it to people. It's easy to type stuff, sit behind a keyboard and type things into posts and comments. It's easy to get on a live and talk and say things that we shouldn't. The problem with this is, because of the world we live in with social media and the information technology, etc., once it's put on there, you can delete all you want, but I can guarantee you it's out there somewhere. You can take down a live where you said maybe inappropriate things or had an argument with someone or whatever, but I can guarantee you somewhere out there is that live. And there are those words you said, those facial expressions you made, or comments you allowed to be made that you didn't address and take care of or delete, so that, you know what I mean, on your personal page, on your personal live, you have to take responsibility and you have to fix it. I can't fix it for you. Community leaders can't fix it for you. You have to fix you. But first you have to hold yourself accountable for it, right? Because if you don't, you're not going to do anything, because you're too busy feeling entitled and blaming everybody else for your issues. It's easy to do.
Lori says, here is a good one. I found out a well-known wreather. Her and her friends are going on competitors' Etsy pages and clicking on the ads and wasting the ad dollars in a half hour. I so want to say something, as it's morally wrong in every way. But again, it's not my circus, but my integrity within myself says, L-A-U-R?
Well, she meant Lori.
Lori, you have to do something. What do I do?
That's tough. Well, Lori, if it's somebody you know, I would say something. Might send a little message.
Can't you report them to Etsy?
You mean Facebook?
Well, she said this was on Etsy pages.
Ah. Maybe you can report it. That's tough, but that's wrong. Wow. Thank you, Dawn. That's right. And it's true, Holly. I've said that to my children. Oh my gosh. They hated hearing that. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. It's that attitude of yours, you know. Well, we as adults do the same thing. And obviously those kids learned it somewhere. I just want us to do this, because if we each individually hold ourselves accountable for what we say and do, maybe that example we set will help others. Because we are also less likely to be spewing negativity if we're worrying about what's going on in our own house. A community is like a house, isn't it? And what did Jesus say? A house divided itself against itself cannot stand. Y'all, we need to stop the divisions and the name calling and the finger pointing. Hold ourselves accountable for that BS. Hold ourselves accountable for whatever it is we're guilty of doing or not doing. And that will help others see the need to hold themselves accountable. Not everybody. We ain't going to win everybody. But our example can certainly help other people. We've all been there, done that. We've all done things we shouldn't. We've all had terrible things come along in our lives. Some self-inflicted, some not. And we can use those as excuses forever. I mean, nobody would blame me if I was a bitter old lady because I buried 2 children 20 years ago. Nobody would blame me for that. But I would have to hold myself accountable to that. Because my example, good or bad, can make a difference in somebody's life. And personally, I would rather me learn from mistakes, and in this case, it's not the kids. I would rather learn from my mistakes or learn from my situation and live my life in such a way that I don't have to look behind me all the time. I would put it in a way like if they didn't know, and tell them for a lesson learned, right? I would do it that way. This way you aren't being looked at to mind your own business. That's good advice, Sherry. That's very good advice. Sherry? Is it Cherry? Sherry? I agree. Who would not like my Lori? Well, and it would also look like somebody tattletaled to you. But that's a good example of what goes on out there. People feel entitled to everything. And I think that entitlement comes from not ever learning to be held accountable by family, friends, coworkers, or teachers, or not having a good example. And so they feel entitled. And it doesn't even cross their mind that they're harming someone else that way. Like, obviously, it's crossing your mind, Miss Lori. That's a tough situation you're in, because you do want them to understand that what they're doing is wrong, but if they feel that way about you, they're probably not going to take it well from you. So it may have to be somebody else that carries that message to them, because you don't want to carry a message that they don't get, that they can't get, because they're blinded by something else, like that you're not their favorite person. You're one of my favorite persons, just so you know. Hope that balances that out. Anyway, guys, I really love Regina White's comment, destroying others shows the insecurity of their internal soul. Isn't that something? Yes, Vicky. You know, it's funny. Oops. Why does it move? Your leg's touching the leg. That's why. No, it's not. Whatever. I may have to get a different table to set this on when I'm going live out here. Yes, me too. Missy, I want to know, when did we become competitors? And you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of healthy competition, but this cutting each other down and the negativity I've seen in some people's lives and on posts, not necessary. Not at all necessary. We can compete in the marketplace. They're either going to buy my wreath or yours. They're either going to buy my roller ribbon from their roller ribbon from me, or from Damon or Scott or whoever. It's okay. There's plenty of people out there. Oh, by the way, y'all, the rule is you go to Ranch House Craft Supplies first. If we don't have it, then you go to the guys. Okay? Just saying.
But you know, if you get someone who gets on there and starts complaining about someone else or their business or something, usually they're the ones that cause the problem to start with.
Mm-hmm. But they don't hold themselves accountable to that.
No, because they're going to blame you. But they're not going to... But then people with a brain are going to sit there and say, you know what? Maybe she's the one with the problem.
Well, and you know that old crying wolf story. If somebody is crying wolf over and over and over and over and over again, we're going to stop believing you. Then when there's really a problem, you're not going to have your people to help you, because you've spent so much time on the drama already. I know, that's going to be so much fun.
Opal, I don't know how to say the last name. She says, I just come across your post. I don't know what is going on.
Opal, you have come across Coffee with Drea. It's an hour of power. It is where we all come together for an interchange of encouragement, and we usually have a subject matter, sometimes several, that we discuss with one another. Today, we have been talking about holding ourselves accountable and not pointing the finger to blame other people for whatever's going on. Yeah, that's right. And we all have a tendency to want that last word, don't we, Sandy? But you're right. It's not that important. And I always, and I don't know where I heard it. I believe I heard it from a Billy Graham crusade that was on TV years and years ago. Never forgot. I don't recall the exact words. But, oops, sorry. You don't have to be right to solve a problem, right? You don't. And that isn't how he said it, but he said it in such a spiritually perfect way that I took it to mean that if I'm in an argument with someone or discussion, is my need to be right more important than solving the issue? No, it's not. You don't always have to be right.
Looks like people wanting Lori and Michelle to have a throwdown.
They are over that wreath. Remember the red, white, and blue eagle thing? Yeah, that's the throwdown. Oh. And I am going to crown the winner. The winner. It's all in fun. It's all in fun, but what great fun it will be. I plan on having a couple of beers while I'm watching that, or wine or something.
Can we make a donation to an organization?
Oh, we're going to crown them at TDR.
Oh.
Can we have some ribbon stacks from you, Dre? 6 matching ribbon combos. Absolutely, I can work on that. Lavon, tell your friend to message me any particular theme or colorway. We have a bunch of ribbon coming this week. We had a bunch come last week as well. So there is new ribbon on there. Oh, hi. TDR is Texas Designers Roundup. It's an event held here in Central Texas. You can go to texasdesignersroundup.com and you can see the rather impressive list of designers that will be there helping one-on-one. They will be on stage, but they also will be in the audience helping. We've made some changes to it. We've reduced the number of tickets for now because we are following the social distancing directive from our governor and other persons, and so we're taking that in consideration. So anyway, TexasDesignersRoundup.com. If Jessie is on here, if she would please post that link. That's awesome.
Opal says she's homebound.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're here to join us. No problem, Thana. None at all. I'll hang on to one for you. That would be very, very difficult to deal with, Opal, being homebound for me. I am a homebody by nature. I'm a nester. So, you know, being home from the COVID isn't so difficult for me because I enjoy being home. But I can't imagine being permanently bound to home. I'm so sorry. Good morning, Debbie. Never late. You can sit in back of the class. Actually, the people that came in late when I was growing up, they had to sit in front of the class. Hi, Carol Davis Nell. How are you? So, does anyone have any other comments on, oh, let's see, I don't mean copy as an exact, I mean as an inspiration to make a wreath like mine. It doesn't bother me like at all. Well, I believe that copying or imitation, whatever you want to call it, is a pure form of flattery. However, I know that there have been some issues of late in the wreath floral community and the sign community as well, with people exact copying one another. It's almost impossible to exact copy, except, well, I guess in the signs you could. But there's nothing wrong with being inspired by someone else's work. Y'all, there probably is not a wreath that hasn't been done. Well, I agree with that. Ugh, there it goes. Maybe that's why it was shaking. Oh, Marianne, that's very kind of you. Thank you. It's a very fine line that we cross sometimes in copying. I am inspired by others' wreaths. I am inspired by other people's color combinations, etc. So is it copying? No. You know, a friend of ours, y'all, Brian, with Brian Lane Designs, he's a hairdresser as well as a floral artist. And we had a conversation one night, quite long, and he was saying, you know, as a hairstylist, people bring me a picture out of a book or a magazine, or they show me pictures on their phone, etc. And what I do with that is I don't copy that exact haircut. What I do with that is I look at that and go, oh, okay, so she likes mid-length hair. Oh, okay, so she likes the low lights, or she likes the highlights. Oh, she likes the closer to honey colored blonde, not the brassy blonde, even though she told me brassy blonde. Now, that's not the right color. Oh, so she doesn't like bangs. You know, so that's what he garners from these pictures. Not to copy that picture, but it tells him a lot about what that client, whose hair he's going to do, is interested in. Very often it's the same when customers of ours, in particular family or friends, show us a wreath and say, Dre, can you do this? Yes, I can do it. I can do you better. No. Well, it depends on the wreath. I might say that. But the wreath tells me they like blues that are darker instead of lighter. They like sunflowers. They like dahlias. They like peonies. So it gives me, okay, they like to see a lot of the grapevines show, or they like it fully covered. They don't like signs being used. They don't like the huge bows. They like the huge bows. Those are all things that you learn from when somebody says, can you do this? And then you tell them, I can be inspired to make something similar. I can use those colors. You like those flowers, etc. You know? In that case, is it really copying, or is it being inspired? Or trying to determine what your customer is interested in?
Lynette says, and the arguing on who invented that way to make a wreath burst is just silly.
Lynette, you're going to make me spew my coffee. What a waste that would be. Absolutely. Like I've said, there isn't a wreath that hasn't been done somewhere, some way, somehow. I've been around 60 years. I think I would have seen. Now, actually, let me correct myself. There is a new way of doing wreaths, and that is the unique in the creek boards, right? So we have a new base to work with. You can still make the same wreaths you make on other bases on that. But now that Unique in the Creek has been around for, I think it's about 4 years or so, we all know who they are, and we all, okay, I love Michelle, that flower that Michelle made. I want to make a flower like that. Is that copying her? No, it's being inspired by her work. I can guarantee you, mine ain't gonna look like hers. And also, if you really, if your customer really wants it identical to that, you have two choices. You can contact the maker and say, look, I have this customer or this family member, whatever the basis is, and they loved your wreath so much, they have wanted me to make a copy of it. And then you get permission. It's nice. It's a nice thing to do if you're going to specifically copy. Right? Knowingly copy every detail, ribbon, choice, all of it. Rarely is that the case, I've noticed.
Veronica says, I am flattered if someone else copies my work. It means I'm doing something right and others love my design. However, I don't appreciate someone taking my photo and putting someone else's name across the front of it.
Oh, don't even get me started on that, Veronica. You're absolutely right. And why are you people taking that kind of energy to do that? Make your own. I almost said a bad word on a Monday morning. What? Make your own product. Take your own pictures. You can be inspired by Veronica, but don't duplicate. That's the difference. Copying from an inspiration standpoint versus duplicating from a copying standpoint. That person put their heart and soul into that design and they have it for sale. You want to duplicate, let them know. You know what? If it was me and I normally, well, I don't care who copies me. You can say, I'm not copying you, but whatever.
Opal says she just got into making wreaths when her mom passed away. Well, if she needs supplies, we know where she can go.
Yes, and isn't wreath making and floral design such a wonderful therapy when you suffer a loss? It is for me. It has been for me forever. Oh, go away, wasp. Did y'all see that wasp come across the screen? Oh. Oh my gosh, Veronica. Right, Lavon, that's it. And that's a good example because, you know, we all could, 100 of us can go by that pumpkin rail that my beautiful Lavon created. One for me and one for Bobby. Today's our friend anniversary. If you were at TDR, you know the story. If not, it will be in the book. Lavon's given me permission to put that story in the book. It's a beautiful story. Anyway, I can assure you my painting ain't gonna be the same as hers, but hers absolutely inspires me.
Missy says, just for example, someone asks you where you get a certain product and the person won't say and says, I don't give out information as to where I get my stuff. I'm like, why not? Not everyone has the same circle. I don't know. I just don't get the secrecy.
All right. I'm going to call myself out on this. Now, my situation is different. When I spent my time wreathing and came back into it from a business perspective, this is before we started selling supplies. I always told people where I got things. I did regular unboxings. I bought wreath attachments from individuals to see the quality of their work because they're expensive, right? So that people could get my honest opinion about these products. So everybody always knew where everything came from. Now, once I began being a seller of supplies, I stopped giving all the details. Because this is now how not only I, but my daughters make their living, is on the selling of supplies. So I don't, as a rule, I don't go through and go, oh, I bought this from so-and-so. As I'm making, if somebody asked me and it was one of my wholesale suppliers, that's exactly what I would say. One of my wholesale suppliers. If it was from one of my so-called competitors, like Deco Exchange or Waterman's Loft, I would tell you, this is where I got it. If I got it at Hobby Lobby, which I'm buying less and less from for personal reasons, and Michael's or one of them, the big billionaire companies, I would tell you. Wow, Opal. Bless your heart.
I guess Bazant says hello.
Hello. Yeah, that's... Oh. So sorry, Opal. And then to be homebound. That's tough. Would you write Opal down? She is suffering with cancer treatment. Let's pray for her. You guys, let's pray for Opal and
sorry.
It's all right. And the success of her cancer treatments. Um, I want you all to know I'm going to take the opportunity. We do. We need to support the little guy, the one that's struggling to put food on the table. My daughter, for her, it's to buy her insulin, etc. For my daughter-in-law, it is to be present in my granddaughter's life and in her schooling, etc. So, I appreciate every one of you. I want you to know that. I'm so proud of the progress so many of you have made. Got it. Oh, Leslie, that's beautifully said. Yeah, message Jesse to take care of that. All right, y'all. So, what have we learned today, children? No. Oh, yeah. Don't hit me. Lynette, you are on my prayer list, like, permanently. I really, really hope things go for you. Debbie, your family has suffered enough. I am so sorry. Absolutely, he'll be on the prayer list. Let me grab the notepad. Oh, that is so sad. So much sadness going on right now. Paul, Debbie's cousin.
She's gonna take care of it.
Leslie, got you down, girl. Is it still your liver?
Did you see your cupcakes on?
I did say something earlier, did I not?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh. I'm sorry, Lynette. I really am. I don't know how you deal with all the health issues. I've got this. Yes, that's what I thought.
Hello. Hey.
Okay, got it.
Let me go back and look.
So, guys, here's the thing. I'm so glad we had this time together. Oh, I don't know why I have to say that now and again. This is my normal sign off. First of all, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us to encourage one another. Y'all, I need the encouragement just as much as you do. I need to be reminded to hold myself accountable, just like everybody else does. This is not me spouting off things that don't apply to me. It all applies to me as well. Yeah, monkey, you're dead. Aww. So, please consider joining us weekly. If you miss the 10 a.m. Central Time time slot, we are always in replay. We appreciate you very much. Go to howtochoosejoy.com and put yourself on the mailing list for you. It is no charge. It is not a advertising ploy. It is simply those that want to know when the book is released. howtochoosejoy.com. Go put your email in there, and Jesse will send an email out the day that book is released. How to Choose Joy in Uncertain Times. That is its working title. Can you believe that we aren't 100% sure exactly if it's going to say in uncertain times or in difficult times? We don't know that part yet. I guess we'll know when I see it. Anyway, y'all, never give up your power. The power to be that beautiful, incredible, worthy, valuable person that you were meant to be. There's a reason for your life. Please live it. Don't just survive it. Live it. Whatever your circumstances, find a way to live your best life. And use that power that you are gifted with. A lot of us don't use it because we don't know we have it. To make your own decisions, your own choices. Hold yourself accountable with some of that power. Yep, you can do that too. And I want you to always use just a tad little bit of that power to not only cultivate, but to always, always, always choose joy, y'all. You have a blessed week. See you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.